And here we are, UTB Blogcast number 120, actually, in case you were wondering. It's been a long time since we've been here, a very, very long time. It's a small group tonight. It's just me and Aaron.
Hi, all.
Hey, Aaron. Because we're talking about something that not many of our little group of friends are that involved in, really, which is the channels.
It's the most, I don't know, I've spent more time on the BlackBerry channels than any other social media.
Right.
But it was the sad day happened over 2 weeks ago. And to get into Telegram and figure out the bots, I think is the biggest issue. Which once you figure them out, like we just discussed earlier, it's a breeze. Once you get the one bot set up, you're done. You're ready to go.
Well, let's give a little bit of history first, just for the uninitiated that weren't in the conversation we were just now having.
I know.
So BBM Consumer is going away. We all know that now. And Aaron, myself, a whole bunch of people out there have spent a lot of time on BBM channels. That's where UTB Blogs is formed. Aaron runs This Just In News and Hot Rods. And how many BBM channels do you have, actually? You have a lot.
I had I think I had like 8 total at one point. And then, well, one was built for narcissists and stuff, then trolls. And then some of them just got spread out too far, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Some just became reposts, and that's no fun. But yeah, I was up to 8 channels, but now I've culled it down to 4. But This Just In News and Hot Rods, and the one that for comic books is getting rebranded. I will be posting that soon. It's going to tie into the podcast I've been doing, and I wish I had it set up for the one trailer that came out this week, because holy Batman, what was that blue thing?
Oh, geez. Yeah. You're talking about Sonic, right?
Yeah, that was a nightmare.
My God.
Those teeth, man, those teeth. But anyway, yeah, I'm down to 4 channels, but I'm going to pretty much dedicate my time on those. Hot Rods, and This Just In News. This Just In News is my creation spot, and hopefully it'll get some more traction from this and help the YouTube channel and all that. But yeah, I don't know how many people I've influenced or helped get channels over here, but I know I have a handful. I'm going to say at least 5 people so far.
And over here is on Telegram, which is kind of where we've moved, right? It's our new home for channels, because BBM Enterprise, there is no channels, there is no stickers, there is a lot of what we've just grown accustomed to in BBM Consumer. And I know we're both still on BBM Enterprise. I got off almost immediately because I kept getting pulled into this group I didn't want to be put into.
Right.
But now I'm back. And it's just for folks like us who put effort and enjoy channels, and that is a primary form of social media for us. There's nothing there in BBM Enterprise for us.
No.
So
it's a throwback to back about BB10 is where I could keep going back to. It's like, oh, look, we did it. We're fine. We're perfect. That was 7 years ago.
Right.
That's what it felt like anyway.
It does. And I really think it's the first gen Android BBM, because it's got all those Teletubby colors that we all hated when they had it. And then they updated the look of it. They gave it a facelift. It looked a lot better. We were able to change our backgrounds, do all those fun things. And oh man,
it's so old. It's like it doesn't even fit the phone anymore.
Right.
And I know I'm in a bunch of groups that I never, and that's the one thing I think people are complaining about too. I seen on BBM Me, or whatever you want to call it, is people are just, oh, you're in a group. Wait a minute. didn't you guys used to have to accept the invite, and now you find an Enterprise? Oh no, that's gone. It's like, no, put that back, please, because I didn't want to be part of this group, and I don't want to be part of that group, and I haven't.
Even BBM Consumer is like that. You just add people now. There's no request sent. No, you don't actually join. You just get pulled in. But for some reason, people in BBM Enterprise right off the bat, I think they're just trying to get their numbers up, so they're pulling everybody in their contact book in. And I just kept getting pulled into the same group. I mean, I'd keep finding myself there. I'd leave, find myself there, leave, find myself there, leave, and it's like every time you get pulled into a group, you have to go through and you have to mute those notifications, or else your phone's just ding and ding and ding.
Well, I've muted a bunch of them, but like I said, I've got my smartwatch, and because of things that's gone on recently, I turned on my notifications the other day. I had this charge 100% yesterday. It is down to what? Oh my gosh, BBME did not help it the other day. I didn't shut it off. 14% as of today. It just went boo, 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 just like a bad video game. Missile Command is all I can relate it to. But people want to cling on to BBM. I get it. Yeah, it was our place, and Channels was kind of a safe haven, a place where I started creating, where you helped UTB grow. BBME is not that. It is far from that. And as far as and I'll tell you right now, I'm on Tumblr, and Tumblr has some nice controls. I'll say that right now, has some nice controls. However, to get any traction there, it's like pulling teeth. I've hashtag and I've done everything else you can, and forget it. It doesn't work. But I said they have great controls. Telegram, though, I really like once you get that admin bot set up and you're ready to go. When I call it the admin bot, they keep, it's a bot father, but I call it admin bot. You can control every channel you have. I don't even go to my channels anymore. I just go, boop, create a post. Yeah. But Telegram, to me, I know people are saying end-to-end encryption and all this and that. If you're discussing secret document files, why are you doing it over instant messenger anyway?
Exactly.
If that's
and I mean that's what keeps killing me, because we get some people that there's some people that are just sticking to BBM, right? And it's because they trust it, and I get that. And as someone who's been a staunch BlackBerry fan and BlackBerry supporter, I completely understand not wanting to leave something of BlackBerry behind, because I've been like that. But at the same time, BBM is the first thing I look at in the morning, last thing I look at night. I keep saying that. It's integral to my communication, my life, all my friends and family. And I've grown accustomed to having options. I've grown accustomed to stickers that I never thought I wanted, and channels and all the fun stuff. And no, we're not talking about secret government documents. We're talking about what we're going to do for lunch, or when we're going to meet up, or just chatting. And those chats are not something I'd be too concerned about, Pavlov over in Russia reading. I don't care. So going backwards to BBME, like, honestly, there's no way I could get my friends and family to do that. They've grown accustomed to all these other features. They like it. They're not going to pay money to have those features taken away. And I get it. It's $5 a year. It's nothing. And at first I was like, I'll pay for my family to that $5 a year. That's not a problem. But then you get into it and you start looking at it, and all the stuff that they enjoy and they like, it's just not there.
Right.
There's BlackBerry Brad from Berry Reporter.
I am here.
Hey.
And
it's about time.
We're kind of carrying on our conversation from the Berry Report podcast right now.
Well, as you should. That conversation was a good conversation.
And the one thing, like I said, the thing that kept BBM going for me was the channels. I mean, it was, I know more people now through BBM because of the channels. And people heard about what happened with going on with me, and I'm like, they reach out to me and they're like, hey, you know what can I do for you? Is there something, check this out, do that. I wouldn't have had any of those contacts without BBM. And I am so forever grateful for the channels because of that. But, they're going away, and BBME, there's no way I would ever have made those contacts ever. I mean, oh, you're on there. Oh, great. Here you go. I don't know what else to say about it. It's secure. So if you are talking about secret government files, go use BBME. Go use
Right.
it. But
and I do trust BBME more than I trust Telegram. I do. I had that conversation in a group I was in today, and I will always trust BlackBerry over any other brand out there than I could think of right now. It's not like I have this huge amount of trust in Telegram. I just want something. I want something fun. I want the features I'm used to. And as of right now, Telegram seems to be the best home for that. And you know what? That could change. I'm not married to Telegram. I am married to BlackBerry. I'll say that. You know what I mean? It's like if BlackBerry came out to BBM and said, hey, next month we're adding channels back and we're adding feeds back. And 6 months from now, we're adding sticker packs back. I would delete Telegram right now and I'd be back on BBME. I just don't see that happening.
The enterprise users don't have a use for any of that. And I know there's a petition to try to save BBM. I don't know how many people have signed it. I haven't signed it because, quite frankly, it's like the TV shows. When they get canceled, if there's a big uproar, they save it somehow. But when it gets canceled and no one's saying a darn thing, it's the way it is. I mean, I wish BBM was a bigger thing. I mean, I've pushed BBM like mad on Twitter, I know you don't like Facebook, but I pushed it on Facebook. I've even tried to push it on Instagram. It just doesn't get nowhere. And, with the Telegram, I'm kind of thinking, well, it's my second home now. There's a few more things you can do with Telegram that we always wanted to do on BBM for the channels. There's a couple of things missing on Telegram, but I'd never used one of them at all, and I really don't see a problem in that. But I don't know where else we can go with that. I mean, the one thing I miss from BBM to Telegram is pinging, because I'll ping my wife, hey, try to get her attention or something, but pings used to be annoying in groups. So good or the bad, I'm okay without having it, but it would have been nice if we could have had it.
I did say,
and the only other thing is that you can't video chat in Telegram yet. I'm sure that's coming. I'm sure that is coming. The sound quality over on a phone call, we tried it, me and my wife. It was pretty clear. It wasn't bad. Of course, we were in the same room, but it was fine.
So Brad, you haven't moved Barry Reporter channel over to Telegram. Are you thinking about it?
All right. So technically it's on Telegram. I just haven't announced or kind of publicized that it's on Telegram. If you go search Bear Reporter, it's there. You'll find it. Subscribe if you want to, but I haven't. My whole thing with Telegram and their channels, I feel like a channel for Telegram is like a glorified chat room. Right? It's not really a channel like BBM Channels was, because BBM Channels is more like a news feed that you could post up a story and have people comment on it or like it or share it from there. It's kind of like what the websites are, right? People look at your website, they read your story, and they comment below at the bottom, or they can take the link and share it otherwise. BBM Channels was that same concept where it went right to your news feed, and you could scroll through it and see a whole bunch of different stories. Yeah, you shared like pictures or what. It wasn't really always geared towards like a news articles or anything like that, but it was more of a news feed concept than it was a chat concept. And where Telegram comes into play is Telegram is more of a chat room than it is a news feed than anything.
You're right, and I had some thoughts about that very thing earlier this week, because I'll say it right off the bat. I don't care for the the visual aspect of Telegram channels. I prefer BBM channels, just the visual aspect of it. BBM channels, your thumbs up, thumbs down, or I guess it was your likes and your comments were just integrated directly into it, where now we have to use these bots, which I'm not too happy about having to use bots to get a like and comments. But once you get it set up, as you were saying a little while earlier, Aaron, it's really easy to just keep it going, like really easy to post to it. But I really missed the feeds. I missed the feeds, and you're right, because your channel postings show up as chats. But then I got to thinking about it too, because, it's like I tend to not look at my phone while I work. I work long hours, and when I come back, just like Twitter, I'll look at my feed and I'll look at what's current. I don't really scroll all the way through it because I do follow a lot of channels. I have a lot of contacts, and I'm just not going to make it all the way through it. The way that Telegram's set up, it does come in as a chat. It gives you the little notification and the number. You'll never miss a post on Telegram, whereas I regularly miss posts on BBM feeds and Twitter. You know what I mean? I like the news feed, like the visually of it, but after a little bit of time using these, I'm realizing that I'm not missing stuff where I do on things that have a news feed.
But so you're the type of person that's going to go deep back into a chat. It's kind of like BBM groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever someone says, hey, I mentioned this whatever topic in the group, well, beforehand, when I go into a group chat, I just kind of join in the conversation where it is at that time. I don't go looking back to see what other people talked about, what other people shared. I'm sorry, I might have missed something, but I'm right there and now. I don't need to go back and see what's going on unless it's something really, really important or something that I really need to go back, which is very rare. Same thing with BBM channels. So you just start posting articles into there or a post or anything in there. Who's going to go all the way back to the very beginning, or who's going to go back to something you posted, very long ago compared to what you've posted just recently?
Well, the one thing I'm going to point out, there's a channel owner. He runs bits on BBM. He's got one on Telegram now. He posts at least 20 posts a day. It's always scientific, medical or whatever it is. And so I'll go scrolling through it. Yeah. But I did the same thing on his channel. He'd post 20 of them. I'd go scrolling through and find the ones I wanted to read. I know you're saying chat and all that, but what I look at it is a post. I've got my reactions on below my pictures or my media and all my text. And I have a comment button there so you can actually comment on my posts. I kind of like the way it's feeling. It's just the polish of the channel posts would be better. I mean, like I was just telling Brad, UTB Brad, if they had a little more polish like Tumblr had, then it'd be okay. I mean, I use Tumblr, but Tumblr is just not the same after they did their great purge in December, but I'm not going to get into that. It's the point of if they just clean it up just a little bit more, and they could have a lot more people using it. But like I said, I just found a comedy channel that had 1 million users. I mean, one, how'd you get there? Two, how can we get that? How do we get that kind of traction? That's the one thing I'm trying to figure out.
Well, that's one of the positives I see about Telegram is and it's a positive and a negative, because number one, the positive is we're in a bigger pond, right? There's a lot more out there. There's a lot more users, much bigger pond. At the same time, discovery sucks in Telegram. It really does. There's no place to go in Telegram to kind of discover. There's people out there that have channels set up that's going to look at other channels, and then there's a website out there you guys were sharing that supposedly lists channels. But the actual discovery itself, I mean, there's not a page like in BBM that was really not kept up, but where you can go through and just see what's happening. I'd love to see something like that, because it's a much bigger pond, but where are you going to find your audience? That's the hard part. And that's where I see like our community of BBMCers really could help themselves out. And I know you're a big fan of the pin trains. I really don't like the pin trains. I just don't.
I know it's the point of it's the last ditch effort, and it's not going to be this just a news pin train. I've got it. It's going to be one of the hot rod parade things or something, but it gets people that we've been dealing with their eyeballs back on our stuff.
Yeah.
And I know there's one guy who ran the comedy club and LMAO and whatever, and everything, other channels. And I've dealt with him forever on BBMC. He'll figure it out. He's one of those guys that'll figure out how to grow something, and then we'll just gotta pick up from where he's going. I know that's what he does. So he knew how to grow it on the channels over at BBM. So I trust him, and I'm sure that he's already kind of trying to figure it out now. I know he'd run something on Facebook. I think he's doing something on Instagram. I don't think he's real happy with Instagram. I'm definitely not happy with Instagram.
No, Instagram is horrible for sharing anything. You can't even share. If I share a link inside Instagram post, you can't click on that link. So it's like a useful feature. Unless
you do a promotion, and then you're paying them money. So you're just giving Facebook all your money for what?
Yeah, who wants to do that?
No, but yeah, the discovery sucks on it. I mean, but the thing is, it's a bigger pond. I think as owners and channel runners, I think, and by the way, I just joined your channel, Brad. So now you're up to 2 subscribers. I think we can make it work for us. I know I'm really hopeful about this, and I want to be positive about this because I just can't stand any of the rest of the media anymore. Facebook sucks. Instagram sucks. Tumblr's no good no more. Twitter limits you on characters. Now I can type a whole story. I'm not stuck to 4. That's the one thing people have to realize too. On Telegram, you're not stuck to 400 characters. I don't even know where the character limit is at this point. I really don't.
And I think. Oh, go ahead. Here. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to start a completely, not different topic, but just kind of giving my 401 on how, so you guys started as a BBM channel altogether, pretty much, or UTB blog kind of progressed as from BBM and into a BBM channel to a website.
Right.
BearReporter.com started as a website and not as a BBM channel. So I think that's where kind of our philosophies are different. And that's why our philosophies are different, because I started way back in 2009 and 2008 when, it was just a website, right? BBM was just a messaging client, right? You chat and join groups. I think there's a limit of 30 people in a group. You had to group. If you wanted to have more people, you have to have, I had to have Bear Reporter fans 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yep.
And it was kind of annoying. But so I was very basic BBM, very promoting of the website, kind of the old school way of going through Twitter and just having RSS feeds and just then doing it that way. Where you guys have started out with, you grew inside of the BBM channel. And I use BBM channels definitely to promote my website, but I didn't use it as much as I use other avenues of promoting my website. And I think that's where, it all depends on where your channel started. If you're someone like me who your BBM channel started because BBM channel started, then maybe that's why I'm not jumping to go to Telegram. I also don't trust Telegram, so that's probably another reason why. But you guys have started in BBM channels, so now you guys need another avenue to BBM channels to grow your channel. That's why you guys are jumping to Telegram. I again, like I said, I created a one for Bear. I don't even know when I created it. I think I created it before BBM even announced the closure of channels or BBM Consumer, but it has just sat there because I never really trusted, Telegram and never had a desire to go to it.
You bring up a good point, but I kind of think that's kind of the difference between BBM users and or say BlackBerry users and non-BlackBerry users, to be honest, because you look at BBM channels when they first came out, and if that would have been a Apple iMessage function, right, it would have turned into another Instagram. It would have been another place where people are posting photos of their coffee and what they're doing. And what did BlackBerry users do? They started creating, right? They became content creators. We didn't have very many, because I know we didn't, because I kept trying to get people to do it because I thought that was a way that we could get it to grow. But to to have personal channels where they are sharing. Use the personal channel, use the feeds as a Twitter, as an Instagram, but you just couldn't get people to do it. You go through all the BBM channels, they're all brands. People created their own brands, and there's way too many that are just reposting stuff. I don't care for that. I personally want original content, but still, people were branding themselves, and it's like we're losing that, and it was a strong community. It really was. I'm not going to say it was a big community. It obviously wasn't, but it was a strong community. And now that community, a lot of us are ending up in one location, and we want to work off each other. It's like,
yeah. And I think if you go back to the start of BBM channels as a feature inside BBM, that's pretty much what BBM channels was designed for. It was designed to bring brands into BBM and have those brands bring their customers or followers into BBM as well. So you had companies like Coke and Pepsi. You had companies like the Toronto Raptors. You had WWE, if you're following pro wrestling. They all had channels. They all created channels. There are other companies out there that create channels. And BlackBerry's idea was, let's have all these companies use BBM channels to promote their product inside BBM channels. And then people will see them using BBM and be like, oh, let's go back. Because you have to remember, BBM channels came out right after the cross-platform stuff, right? BBM had just gone iOS and Android, so they had to get those iOS and Android users who thought BBM was dead or not existent or not relevant anymore to come back into BBM, and BBM channels was kind of the answer. And like you said, it developed creators out of no name Joes creating their own channels and becoming their own creating content or content creators, and that was great. But in BlackBerry's mind, I think it did something differently than what they wanted to do, and it still could have done the same concept where people see Joe Schmo created a BBM channel, say, oh, I want to create a channel too. Let me go on BBM and do it that way. But unfortunately, it just didn't happen that way, or didn't catch on, whatever. But
well, I know there's one NBA basketball player as of I think last fall. I think he was still using it, and I can't think of his last name, and I don't follow NBA. He was still posting up to a point. There is only one company left and I don't know if they're still posting because I haven't checked my BBM in a little bit. Was ShareCare. They still post. I mean, every other company made a deal with BlackBerry, I think, or at the time, I think like a 3-month deal, because I used to follow them. I'd follow Time, I'd follow Sports Illustrated, I followed everybody, and then in about 3 months they'd be done because either they didn't get the traction they wanted or needed, and that was the end of it. But ShareCare somehow just kept going. I mean, I think they took a month break at one point towards the end here, and then all of a sudden they were posting again.
I'm sure just some random BlackBerry diehard was controlling that channel.
Yeah.
And just posting
Most likely. Most likely they're sitting on their Z10. They're probably posting channel stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Because that was part of the issue too. At the beginning, you could only post from a phone, and it's like,
yeah, and it never got you could post from a computer, but it never got that concept. It could have been a great concept, right? You posting from a browser, but it was just a horrible experience.
The portal was a total disaster. The portal was a total disaster. You could be an admin of a channel. You could co-admin, but you had to do it through a portal. And I did do that, and it was just horrendous. And the one thing I will say about Telegram, about your channels, is you can look up your live stats about your channel, where BlackBerry, you had to go through the portal to see anything. And that got annoying after a while, because all of a sudden all the numbers disappeared after MTech took over. It just, oh, look, I used to know how many iOS users or BB10 users and all that.
Yeah.
Not no more. I didn't even know who my audience was.
I still haven't got to where I can see that on Telegram. I haven't even looked at that yet.
If you go on your channel admin bot, he will show it.
Yeah. Yeah, that web portal, I mean, it got better, but not great. My always complaint was, I don't know how long ago I started this, but like a year ago or whatever, I got the idea of, when I'm going to be doing a podcast, I'm going to schedule posts to like happen like an hour or 30 minutes, whatever, beforehand the show starts to promote. And I always realized that the time that you could post it or kind of set to post was always, I forget what time zone it was. One was always defaulted to military time, which is fine. Most of the world uses military time. But it was also then defaulted to a completely strange time zone. Wasn't even Indonesian time zone. It was, I forget what it was, but I'm like, why? Like, how do you miss that concept inside?
Well, you could change the time zone on it. You could
change the time zone, but it was defaulted to, like, most of the time you hit default to something basically near where you are based on your IP address.
Right.
BBM Channel's portal could never figure that out. And the fact that they changed the channel address twice or whatever it was, and then it still tried to default you back to the original one. It was a completely mess of It did have a video. It did have the ability to post videos from your channel, which was fine, but
well, no, you had to go through the BBM channel manager to get that permission granted to you.
Well, yeah.
And then you could, because otherwise it was SOL. You couldn't do it. I got it for 2 channels. And then you had to use that channel over in Indonesia to post it, which was more annoying because about halfway the first year it was working really good, but the second year all of a sudden they wanted your phone number. Well, guess what? I don't have an Indonesian area code, so I couldn't verify my account.
Huh.
So you couldn't change your title of your video. You couldn't put hashtags. You couldn't make it searchable. Where in the first of it, you could. And like one of my first This Just In News videos that I posted from there, I couldn't tell you how many views it had on it because I made it searchable there. And I'm like, okay, this is where I can get some traction. Maybe this will help. But then all of a sudden they changed it and it was garbage.
Yeah, it was never a great experience, BBM Channel. I mean, even just BBM channels in general, right? If you try commenting on someone's post and then so if somebody commented on your post and then somebody wanted to comment on their comment, you couldn't do it easily. Not till the very end of BBM channels could you somewhat reply to someone else's comment and it would go through properly. Normally, you would try to reply to someone's comment and it would just add it as a regular comment.
Actually, when I comment on a post on BBM, it'll say, "Oh, there's 2 replies on your comment." Well, there's only 1 reply on your comment, so somehow it still has a mess up. The other thing that I'm knocking on wood over here, and I already talked to UTB Brad about this, is that we don't have trolls yet. And the trolls were the nastiest part about BlackBerry channels. Now, the one thing I see on Telegram is you can block users really easy.
Yeah.
So that makes me feel a little bit better. If you have somebody comment and you don't like what they're saying, you can block them, and that's great. We used to have a big problem with some narcissists and people from other countries doing stuff that they shouldn't be, DP pictures that were
DP.
Yeah, pretty bad. Yeah, they were DPs. And it's like, and the other thing I'm thinking I see a little more freedom is that, someone would have a post and it'd be a little, not necessarily racy, but like I had one, I can tell you right now, I made fun of KFC. I showed, there was a gif of somebody dunking a chicken through a basketball hoop, and I thought that was hilarious. And I made a story about it, and all of a sudden I got in trouble and they got flagged and removed. I'm like, I didn't do the throwing of the chicken through the hoop. I just was making fun of it. And, but that one got removed. I'm like, oh, what the hey, man? Could never get that one back because BlackBerry would go, your post has been flagged and deleted. Could you tell me which post? No, it's just that one. And if you had hundreds of them, you didn't know which one that got flagged. Good luck to you finding it because they never told you.
Yeah, that was the days when they actually monitored your BBM channels.
Right.
Towards the later end, they didn't even monitor.
They're not
monitoring. You can post whatever you want right now.
Right now, I know of a few channels that are really just going for the gusto, I should say. But even with the BlackBerry Discovery channel, I'd be the first one getting hold of the channel manager at times because I noticed all of a sudden it'd go reset and it'd be down to the first 3 channels of BlackBerry, and it'd be like, all of a sudden everybody's reset. We got to get this back up and running. But the channel list never got updated, and I tried to help get some of that changed, but after a while it was just useless.
Yeah. Yep. BBM channels just started. I mean, I said this on the last week's podcast. BBM or MTech actually scheduled a call with me and the BBM channels developers over at MTech to discuss my thoughts and concerns and ideas for BBM channels, because I was very vocal about telling them, hey, you guys should do something with BBM channels. It's a good platform. You should adjust this or fix it or do something with it. And they were asking me like questions. Like, I was thinking to myself, you guys should know the answer to these questions. They asked me like, how many views do you get per week or per month or whatever? I'm like, I have channels, right? I have 3 channels sitting on there. 2 are active, and you are asking me how many views I have. You should be able to see that. I know you can see it. So, I mean, just the fact that they're asking me these type of questions where, how many views do you have, or it's like that, and coming to me, I mean, I'm a very vocal BlackBerry person, very vocal BBM person. I was talking to developers. I still talk to developers to this day, but you should know what's wrong with BBM channels just by looking at it. Right? You shouldn't have to come to me and say, what's wrong with BBM channels? I'm not being paid by you guys.
Well, we've all complained in one form or the other on other social media about the channels. And I think even on the portal, you could do a 3-second video post, or it was a 2-second video post. And I was like, what am I going to do in a 2 or 3-second non-sound video post? And there was I even got it on the beta where I wasn't on the beta, but there was a point where you could actually try to buy advertisements for your channel. And I said, yeah, I'm interested. Well, that was probably 3 years ago when that happened. It was dead and gone. So
that's because you were trying to give MTech money. They don't like that.
Well, they like to spend it, obviously, because they ran out. And
yeah, well, that's because BBM servers cost a lot of money to run, or Google servers, I should say.
Well, I thought it was all Amazon servers, but okay.
It's Google.
They were using Google servers.
Really? Okay.
Since very early BBM consumer days. We're not early, actually. No, that's a lie. I forget when, but
yeah, they actually just finished the whole transition not too long ago, because I mean the transition took forever.
Yeah, they did just finish that, and I've been thinking to myself, like, did they just not quote themselves properly? And I mean.
Well,
that was last week's podcast about why this happened. But
now we're on Telegram, so now like I know UTB Brad's building, taking stickers from BBM and bringing them over to Telegram. I'm going to build my own stickers from my This Just In News characters, my news anchors. I think the channels over there are a better thing, because there's one other thing I like about them is you can have voting polls. I started my channel, This Just In News. I want voting polls because I wanted stuff to be interactive. I want more interaction, and you couldn't do it. I had to find some third-party website, and I got the guy. I was kind of like getting interested, and of course, that a developer quit. And I tried another thing, and yeah, it's okay, but not a lot of people use it. But there's polls you can put on your channel right there. You don't even have to go. You can't even do it through the admin bot. That's the one thing that's a little strange, but you can put a poll right there on your channel. People can vote on it, and you can see who's voting on it. And that's BlackBerry BBM could have put that in. They just let it sit there and linger so long and no updates for years, and that's what really killed it, I think. And then MTech took it over. Oh, we got stickers. Oh, we got emojis. We wanted more than that. We wanted more tools, more creation tools. I don't care to send someone a Deadpool sticker every day. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, that's the weird part too, because I mean, I think Brad, you had conversations with MTech about this, but I had conversations with MTech about the roadmap for BBM, and I was constantly told that channels was part of the roadmap, and they were going to update channels and do a complete overhaul of channels and give us something different or something better, and never got touched by MTech. They didn't know what to do with it. I mean, again, Telegram channels. Yeah, I have one. I probably will put a little bit of effort into them and kind of customize it, just because I look at it as just another way of getting people onto the website that I run, and that's my goal. That's been my goal since day one, is pushing people to read stuff that's on the website or to the YouTube channel or to the blog or the Bear Report podcast. And that just, to me, is just another way of advertising myself or promoting myself. But do I like Telegram channels compared to BBM channels? Well, it's not BBM, so of course I don't. And I still think it's just a glorified chat room. I think it's just more of a conversation between you and your fans. And is it a better conversation between you and your fans now that you have more ways of actually talking with people through that channel a little bit easier? Yeah, I guess so. But I always looked at BBM channels as a news feed or an addition to a news feed. I think Dave said on the last podcast, or Brad, that was you, right? That you wake up in the morning and feeds was your first thing to scroll through, and part of the feeds is BBM channels, and that's, I remember discovering tons of BlackBerry stories about inside BBM channels, right? And I would go write it up, and it was, UTB blogs would post about this BlackBerry app gets updated, and I would say, oh, I didn't know about that. Let me go write that up myself. So to me, it loses its news feedness, I guess, inside Telegram. But yeah, I have no problem with switching over, or not switching over, but also using it.
Well, I have a problem switching over, but
well, yeah, I don't want to.
We have to.
The fact that BBM is going away, or consumer BBM is going away.
It's March.
That's the issue.
It's almost May 4th. We got to May 31st, so we don't have much time.
Yeah, and
Star Wars tomorrow.
Yeah, and like you said, Aaron, that there is a petition out there. I know there's a petition out there. I haven't signed it either, because I usually don't sign petitions because I don't think they work. I don't think people sign a bunch of their names on a piece of paper or whatever, or a form, or whatever. BlackBerry knows that we love BBM. BlackBerry knows that we love BBM channels. BlackBerry knows that we love BBM consumer. BlackBerry isn't denying that. It's BlackBerry saying, all right, we have enterprise that we've already geared towards an enterprise consumer or enterprise user base, right? Or a business user base. How do we integrate some of the BBM consumer stuff into there without driving the enterprise users away, because now they think it's more of a chat app or more of a consumer app than it is an enterprise app. So, yeah, I get there's a petition out there, and I know BlackBerry's, listening. I have a conference call with BlackBerry on Monday, so maybe we'll hear something from that. I doubt they'll give me any type of news or anything like that, but but BlackBerry is interested in hearing about what we have to say and what we have to, say about BBM and what we want in BBM. And I know that right now BlackBerry is kind of going through the still early phases of getting everybody onto enterprise, because there still are users out there who can't get into enterprise because of issues with their BBM or BlackBerry ID. I mean, if you all notice, if you had me on BBM Enterprise, you notice that I now have a new account because my BlackBerry ID got completely jacked up, which is the shame, because it's been the BlackBerry ID I've been using since day one of BlackBerry. And, it's kind of torn to be like, oh, I have to give that up. But I technically don't have to give it up. I still can use it. But so I had to create a whole new account. So I know there's people out there who are running into issues, and BlackBerry's, or the BBM team over at BlackBerry, is focused on that right now. Does that mean they're going to move on to what they can bring over to BBM Enterprise? I mean, if you're going to tell people to come to this chat or to this application, and we're going to charge you $6 or $5 a year for it, I think they would bring over some things, right? I don't think they're going to bring over everything. I honestly don't think channels has come back over. I think stickers will come back over. I don't think channels will, because stickers are a little bit easier to code, and maybe channels comes back. I don't know. But again, a petition is not going to get them to do it any quicker or faster than you and me saying, "Hey, BlackBerry, do it."
But see, that's where I look at BlackBerry as what are they now? They're more of a security IoT company.
Yeah, they're a security software company.
So a social side of their BBME does not make any sense in my thinking. It really doesn't.
No, it doesn't. But it makes sense it makes sense into the narrative that BlackBerry is kind of trying to write about themselves towards their user base. Right? When MTech made this announcement, BlackBerry was very quick in saying, "Come to Enterprise, we'll take care of you over here." Right? We'll give you a year for free. We're paying 10 times less. Well, not 10 times, but we're paying less than what enterprise companies do pay for BBM Enterprise. Companies pay about $50 a license.
Oh, wow.
For Enterprise, and we get slightly more features than enterprise customers do. For instance, us as enterprise consumers, we get access to 5 devices available, so we can sync our BBM chats between 5 different devices. Enterprise users can only do between 3. For instance.
So how many enterprise users are using BBME? Is there any number that BlackBerry,
like corporate wise?
Yeah,
I know it's big in healthcare. I don't know. I don't have a number in front of me, but I know healthcare companies, hospitals and stuff like that use it. It's very big in that field because they need something to quickly be able to transfer files back and forth between, a doctor, a nurse, or whatever. And BBM Enterprises allows them to do it. I know.
But see, at the same time, you're talking enterprise. There's more to enterprise than just BBM. You know what I mean? We're getting BBM Enterprise for $5 a year, but we're not getting workspaces. We're not getting the MDM. But
the $50 a month or whatever, that is enterprise cost. If you just want enterprise as a, say for instance, your UTB blogs and you say, BlackBerry, I just want to have enterprise for my corporation because all the writers in UTB need to have enterprise, right? I believe I'm going to question this on Monday, but I believe it's $50 a license for BBM Enterprise to be active in your corporation, in your organization. Not that doesn't include having workspace and everything. I believe I have to, but I'm 85% sure of that one.
Okay, so say that BlackBerry wants to save the channels. How long? We've talked about this, but to code all that to where MTech was, and then go further with it. That's a lot of investment, isn't it?
It's code, right? It's just
right. You have to have someone write it.
Well, you don't even have to have someone write it. You just have someone copy and paste it, right?
Yeah, but then you're just go and then say, here you go, and then it's just going to be the same old thing.
Yeah. So again, do I think BBM Channels is coming back over? There's a small chance, but like you're saying, if BlackBerry was to say, "Hey, we're going to bring channels back into BBM," great. What are you going to do with it then? You're just going to let it sit there and die, be the same feature it was, because the same feature it was while you and I and Brad and others were using it. It was still a pain to use. It still didn't have anything going for it to, benefit us from, again, we benefit from getting users to look at our content, but, their BBM channels could have been a whole lot more, and it wasn't. So if BlackBerry is going to bring over the code and say, all right, we're just going to park it and just leave it there and let it sit there and just kind of rot away, it's not worth it for them to do.
And I'm a big proponent of BlackBerry channels. I didn't want this to happen, so I want everybody to know that. Me going to Telegram, no, I didn't. Now I'm in Telegram. I like it. There's things you can do. Like I said, great. And I'm just like, this was what BlackBerry channels should have been. There should have been things that you could have done, like you can in Telegram. But like you said, if they just park it, you already lose. All right, so it's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks and a day since they announced it. Everybody jumped on jumped on BBME, or they jumped on Telegram, they jumped on Line or Trima or whatever else. So you're already losing that user base from BBM consumer. You can't tell me you're not. You know, a lot of people are just jumping ship. Some people are holding on to it for dear life. You know, I still have it, but it's like you all of a sudden now you're going to tell everybody on BlackBerry, you know, Enterprise, oh yeah, we have channels now. So say you lost half your subscribers or half your viewers on BBM Consumer. Now you've lost a quarter of them to this, a quarter of them. How many people are going to be looking at those channels over BBME? Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the same concept with just Enterprise in general, right? You know, so everyone keeps asking, you know, is BlackBerry going to just redo a consumer version of BBM and send it? Well, that's very confusing. Like we're in a very bad situation now because, you know, BBM consumer is there. They say, hey, we're going to turn the lights off on May 31st. BlackBerry says, hey, come to Enterprise, right? People jump over to Enterprise. What happens when BlackBerry says, hey, we have this new consumer app, go back over to it? Who's going to jump back over? You're going to lose somebody in the process. Unless they just say, hey, the consumer app is back enabled. We're not going to shut it down on the 31st. It's back ours. That's the only way that I can see that happening, because whoever had a consumer account still has the consumer account and goes back over with all the same great features. Again, for them to do that, they would have to find somebody to keep an eye on BBM consumers as far as giving it updates, make sure features inside of it. You would remove a lot of bloatware inside BBM consumer, right? You would remove all the MTech stuff, right? All the TV channels, all this, you know,
hotels.com.
Yeah, maybe you would keep Uber just because Uber is kind of a business concept, right?
Those are just web links. There wasn't really much bloat there.
Yeah, no.
Everybody keeps
those weren't. Yeah, but why have them there? And it'd be like,
how about get rid of the ads? There, you know, there you go. I mean, I had Roto-Rooter shoved down my throat every 5 seconds after a while. My feeds.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things about Enterprise is there is no ads. There's not going to be ads. I'm paying $5 a year for not to be an ad. You know, that's perfectly fine with it.
Yeah, but I mean, but the whole point is that you're losing a lot of your consumer base. To get them back over, yeah, some of us diehards would be back over there, but now I'm over on Telegram. I'm seeing all these more rich content things. I'm be like, hey, come over to this channel. I can do a lot more with it. We can do things. I could post my YouTube stuff. I mean, I know somebody. She posts all the songs she loves, and it's all on YouTube and links, and you could actually play. I mean, the GIF size on Telegram is 5 megabytes. BlackBerry was always 2. That was a pain in the butt trying to find a GIF that you could use on a channel.
Spending time resizing them.
Oh, I can't tell you how many times I've tried to resize something. And then you resize it and it wouldn't work. It would just get stuck. So, yeah. I mean, that's the thing.
I love how YouTube and music plays through Telegram. Like, I absolutely love that. It's such a different experience.
And also you can post voice notes on channels too, which you couldn't ever do on and I used SoundCloud for the longest time when I had the channel shredder channel. I'd post whatever I was doing to shred a channel because they were dead, and I would just post something on SoundCloud and say, hey, click on this link. That's no fun. Why can't I do that in the app? So, I mean, that's the thing. They bring it back. Yeah, I'll be back, but it's I think they need, if they're going to bring it back, they need to fix everything that was wrong with it.
Realistically, just looking at it, I see them opening up BBME as nothing but a gesture of goodwill to a bunch of people that were left homeless. You know what I mean? I don't see BlackBerry having a business strategy around it. I don't see them ever looking at it as a consumer money-making business.
No, and they said that they're not going to. I mean, they're losing money on the consumers who switched over, technically, right? Because it's a cheaper cost. Yeah. I mean, they said that it wouldn't affect their financial aspects of it, but which is fine. It's great, you know, good news for them. It's not affect their money or anything like that. So kudos to them for figuring out a way for that to happen. But you know, yeah, their focus is going to be towards the enterprise stuff, and it's not going to be, you know, promoting. I mean, they are promoting people to switch over to enterprise, and you know, back to what I was saying back last podcast, this kind of plays into the narrative that BlackBerry's been speaking of lately, right? Security.
But are they really promoting it, or are they just saying, "Look what we did"? You know what I mean? There's a difference. It's not like they're saying, "Hey guys, come on over here." It's more like a.
Well, they were when it first happened. They haven't done it recently, so I don't know if that's because they're having issues with getting people into BBM Enterprise, and they don't want to promote come to our Enterprise app when you can't get into it. So I kind of have a feeling that has something to do with it. But when it first came over, or when the consumer app, when MTech announced that consumer was going to die off, BlackBerry actually put out a couple of tweets saying "come to BBME," and they had this little thing where BBM and parentheses said "me," come switch over to something that you don't have to give up your phone number. It's secure and encryption and such like that. So they did have tweets that were they're kind of promoting that concept. Again, they haven't done it recently, but I have a feeling that their issues with sign-ins and stuff like that is causing them not to do that. I can see that. So
didn't they
see them promoting it?
Didn't they just get the layer or the programming in for Apple devices to join in the Enterprise?
Yeah.
So that has to be part of it too, right? There are some bugs in that as well. I know that.
Yeah, there's been bugs with people.
It takes a while for you to. If you put an app on the Google Play Store, it goes up. You put an app on the Apple App Store, there's a waiting period before it's actually published.
Yeah,
so I have a feeling that's kind of what happened.
Yep, and there's also a thing right now where it's not really affected other people, but it affected me. If you subscribe to BBM Enterprise using a BlackBerry ID with your Google account, and then for some reason you want to use a different BlackBerry ID with the same subscription, you can't do it. You can't transfer it as of right now. On the 7th of May, you'll be able to do so, apparently, according to BlackBerry. But again, that's not a big thing. That's kind of a rare situation. But I think they said transfer. The way that some apps will do it, like subscription concept, is it'll just let you use it as long as you're signed into the same Google account. And so I personally, I was thinking, if I can get a channel going or my BBM account going for myself, and then I could also get a BBM account going for like Bear Reporter or the podcast, because I had a BBM contact that was for Bear Reporter. I was like, it would just piggyback off the same, subscription. But no, they have that figured out. They're not going to let you do that, which is kudos to them. They would lose money that way, right? But part of that situation is because you're getting a free trial for 1 year, and that messes up with the whole subscription concept. Because even if you cancel it in Google Play still sees that it's there, because technically you don't get charged for it till 2020.
Right, and I think I accidentally hit a button on that. Somehow I didn't see the free, and I think I hit the pace every 6 months or something. I don't know if that's going to go through or not, but
no, that's how it goes. Or that's how it was.
But I just don't know. I mean, I know they said, they got to show them the numbers of all these people jumping on BBME. I mean, was it that big of a surge?
You had the same people hop over from consumer, of course, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was anybody new coming over? I don't think so. I don't think it was. I mean, the reason why consumer was closed down, or is being closed down, is because they couldn't bring anybody over to make it worth their while, right? They weren't gaining any new subscribers for BBM. They haven't gained new subscribers at BBM for a very long time.
Right.
And
it was just
I don't think Enterprise is going to, might give you a little bit of boost, because now it's back in the BlackBerry servers, and now it's more secure technically than consumer was, and now it's back to its kind of original roots of being just a messaging application as of right now. But I don't think that, equals more people jumping or additional people jumping back over, especially now that there's a price tag to it. Again, it's not for, the first year, you get it for free, but with there being a price tag for it eventually, I don't think it's going to bring new people. I think it, like Brad said, it's just for those diehard users who really love BBM consumer and need somewhere to go chat and message. personally, again, as I said, I'm kind of the old school BlackBerry user, where back in my BlackBerry Curve days, or early BlackBerry days, BBM was a very ugly looking messaging application that did its job. It messaged you from BlackBerry user to BlackBerry user, and pin messaging and such like that, and very basic group functions and that nature. So me going to Enterprise kind of is like going back home, going back to a basic root of BBM. But for those who are looking at BBM as a social app or an application or as a consumer, or as a social application, then Enterprise is not up your alley.
Or just an expressive chat. You know what I mean? It's like, that's one of the things that was always so great about BBM was those emoji. The emoji were a form of communication in BBM, and BBM Enterprise don't even have the BBM emoji to them. Just jumping over to our chat real quick, because I know that Brad said you were kicked out somehow, and Nil had asked earlier in our chat if we had heard of anybody being kicked out, because he had a friend that was bumped out of BBM. So is that something that's being resolved?
So my issue was kind of weird because I don't know. So one day, I'll just kind of give you guys a story of what happened. So one day I'm sitting at work. I have BBM going on my iPad and my phones, my two phones, my work phone and my personal phone. And I get a message from somebody and go to answer it, and I'm back at the sign-in page of BBM Enterprise. It's like, that's odd. And this is the weird part about this is it was the day that iOS update went through. So I was like, oh, I wonder if that had anything to do with it. But I was only signed into my iPad, and my iPad was working fine. So that shouldn't have anything to do with it. But anyways, so I go, all my devices are back to the sign-in page. So I try signing in with my main device. It gives you this error saying, you don't have a subscription for BBM Enterprise. Please, subscribe below. The only issue was there was no button to subscribe below. There was just a close option. It's like, that's weird. So I tried it on another device. Same issue. That's odd. So I deleted the apps, or cleared out the information, and did a bunch of troubleshooting with them, and still had an issue. So I reached out to BBM and their tech support, 24/7 tech support, pretty good job. And they were looking into it. I was out of BBM Enterprise for, it started on Thursday, and I didn't get it back till about Monday or Tuesday. So I went a whole weekend without BBM Enterprise. Still had access to consumer, which was the odd part. I was able to message away in consumer, and no issues there. What it came down to was that somehow my BBID had gotten enlisted to the point where they thought that I had originally had an Enterprise account before, or a BBM protected account before, which was not the case. I never did. I mean, I know way back in time, I tried to get BlackBerry to provide, demos of their Enterprise software and stuff like that, but never came through just because of things on their end. But I never had an Enterprise or BBM Enterprise account, never signed in, besides of that, when consumer went down. So they said, because of that, or because it's showing like that, we can't let you use that same BlackBerry ID inside Enterprise. The thing that I thought did that was somehow because I was, monkeying around. So the day that consumer, announcement was made and Enterprise is enabled, I said, I wonder what this means for BlackBerry 10 users. So I tried putting my BBID over to a BlackBerry 10 device, signed into it, switched that over to Enterprise, or hit the option to switch to Enterprise, and I was in. Didn't have any issues. So I'm wondering if that had something to do with it. So I had to create didn't have to create a new BlackBerry ID because I have like 12 BlackBerry IDs sitting around. So I just used another one, created the account, or signed into it. I wasn't able to subscribe, because Google Play saw that my subscription was based under my original BlackBerry ID. So I had to go onto an iOS device and enable the subscription that way, and then sign in through consumer or through Enterprise, which I'm waiting for the whole transfer thing to happen, because I don't want to be charged by Apple for an Enterprise subscription, because they charge you more because there's more tax on Apple products, which who knows what that will be in 2020. So
probably about $5,000.
Yeah, enough to make them a $1 trillion company. But here's the other kicker.
Oh, go ahead.
The other kicker is that I can still use that BlackBerry ID in consumer, which I'm sure that by 31st they'll end. But I'm also still able to use that consumer ID inside of a BlackBerry 10 device, and it still sees all my enterprise contacts.
That's interesting.
So I don't know. Something was completely messed up. And again, BlackBerry has this, or the BBM team over at BlackBerry has a lot of things going on, and it's a lot of issues and a lot of things they don't know how to handle, because it's more the amount of people searching over enterprise users was a lot more than what they had for enterprise users as a whole. So they didn't really justify or kind of prepare for all, however many BBM enterprise users switched back over to enterprise.
But we didn't crash their servers, right?
No.
So that's a good thing.
Good thing for them. They got strong servers. Right? Yeah. They didn't go down like Telegram.
Another comment from the chat is from Roy, who should be here. You're talking about BBM and Telegram, because we're going way back here, because I haven't really been keeping up with the chat. It says the question is, what's better for communication? For me, stickers and all the consumer stuff are extras. And there's no difference between Telegram and WhatsApp. Both work on phone number. And that's not necessarily true. They both use your phone number, just like BBM Consumer used your phone number. But it doesn't share your phone number. You have a username in Telegram. The only way somebody's going to show up via telephone number in Telegram is if you've already got them in your phone book, and then it's going to go out and say, hey, these contacts are here. But like both these guys on here and Roy, I've got you all as contacts, meaning I've got open chats with you right now. I can't go in and find your phone number. Yeah, it doesn't show. All I see is your handle, which is really no different from a personalized PIN in BBM Consumer. BBM Consumer worked exactly the same way, once they started doing that, where it took your phone number and then it would go through and see if you had contacts that were available on BBM. So what Telegram's doing made me very nervous putting my phone number in the first time, which is why I now have 2 accounts, because I used my secondary phone number that I really don't use. Anyway, so I was afraid to put my phone number in at first, but it's not out there. Nobody can get it.
Yeah, but my only problem with that is that the way that BBM Consumer started doing it is they asked for your phone number, but they didn't require your phone number to sign up for BBM. You could use your BlackBerry ID, of course, and even if you didn't have a BlackBerry ID, you could always go back on BlackBerry's website, create a new BlackBerry ID, and sign in that way. You didn't need a phone number at all. So
okay, do that now. We can still sign in. We can still sign in with our email addresses. You can't create accounts with your email address.
Yeah,
you can.
Yeah, you can.
Not through BBM, you can't.
No, not through BBM. But if you just if you create a new BlackBerry ID, then you can.
Okay, but let's go to the biggest disaster of instant messaging, WhatsApp. What do they use for your ID? Your phone numbers right out there all the time. So seriously, I'd rather have Telegram where it's not showing it versus WhatsApp where everybody knows your phone number. I don't need everybody to know my phone number. That to me is the worst design I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, WhatsApp is completely. I can't talk to anybody on WhatsApp unless I have their phone number, and if you don't have my phone number, then you're not someone that I want to talk to, right?
Right.
At least with Telegram, you can actually give out your username and add people via username and such like that. Same thing with BBM, like you said, BBM custom pins were just technically a username, right? Again, I didn't like the idea that I had to give Telegram my phone number. I gave a phone number that I don't care about, but who knows what they're doing with that phone number in the background? That's my thing. If Telegram doesn't require you to use a phone number to add a contact, what are they doing with that phone number to get me to when they have me sign up with the phone number?
Oh, you mean I get more scam likely phone calls?
Yeah. So where does that phone number go in their database, and who has access to that phone number in their database? And there's a ton of messaging apps out there that require you to sign up with a phone number, like WeChat and Viber, and I think Line does it too. And I can never figure out, like, it's not they need to verify that who you are, because I can create a phone number in Google Voice or any other, voice over IP account, and just create a phone number that way and make a bot just constantly look at that phone number, right? So it's not to verify that I'm a human or not, because I could easily, fool that concept. So again, why not just have me sign in with the email address and password, or create an email or
I
user?
totally agree with that. But I remember when BBM switched over to phone number, because realistically that's what they did, and they said it was because of users wanting that. That was
they wanted that phone number somehow. Yeah, that was because they wanted that phone number for some reason.
I really think your typical user out there, and I'm not talking about us that have been in the BlackBerry world, they want ease of use, right?
Yeah, of course.
And I mean, I see how Telegram is using the phone numbers, because I actually use the web client, and I'll jump between devices with it, and it's so easy. It's easier than scanning a code on your screen. You go in to sign in and you say, hey, I want to use the web client. So it asks you to punch in your phone number. You punch it in. It sends you a text message. You punch in those numbers on the screen, and then boom, you've got Telegram right on your screen. So that aspect is really easy. And from somebody who has a lot of different accounts, a lot of different places with a lot of different passwords, it's a heck of a lot easier than remembering another password for Telegram.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely ease of use if you want to just use your phone number. I get that. And again, there's people out there who care about privacy and care about where my information is going and who has my information and whatever. And there's people out there who just don't care, because either they know they're not sharing government secrets, or they just, for instance, people, there's always been a debate between me and a lot of other users who, with BlackBerry switching, providing Android operating system devices, right? A lot of the conception is, oh, I don't want to give my information to Google, or Google's always listening, or if you have an Amazon Alexa device or a Google Home device, they're always listening. And I say, you know what? If someone's going to listen to my conversation with Alexa or Google Assistant, have at it, because then someone will actually think my life is interesting, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Have at it. It's, if they want to hear what I'm requesting Google to do and having to tell me to turn my lights on, or find my phone when I can't find it in the couch cushion or anything like that, have at it. If Google wants to see how many times I go to the pizza shop down the street for lunch or whatever, have at it. I don't care.
Yeah,
I already know I'm fat, right?
You want to hear about my boring life and hear how I ask about the weather forecast every day? Go right ahead. Listen to it all day long. I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I get privacy. The chats that we have in groups, I'm not concerned about at all.
No.
There's a lot that we should be concerned about. The chats we have in these groups or on channels, that's not one of the ones I'm at all concerned about. I'm really not too concerned about my phone number. I've got 4 of them myself. It's really easy. I know Google Voice is out there, but if you don't want to give Google your information, I'm sure there's numerous other ways that you guys can get throwaway phone numbers. And it works that easy. I've got 2 lines active, so I got 2 phone numbers, and then I've got 2 Google Voice numbers.
Yeah, just go buy a prepaid phone number.
What's that?
Just go buy a prepaid phone number.
Yeah.
I think even Skype allowed you to buy a phone number. At one time, I bought a phone number for a year from Skype, and it forwarded all the phone calls to my phone. And that way I didn't have to get out my phone number at one point. So I don't know if Skype still does that or not. I haven't checked that.
Yeah, they still give you a phone number.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, there's so many different ways of hiding your phone number if you're really, really worried about it. But I mean, no one's looking you up in a telephone book. I mean, who has a telephone book of cell phone numbers? Seriously, nobody.
Well, Telegram does.
Well, Telegram. WhatsApp. No more like WhatsApp is looking at your phone number every day. Oh, look, that guy's phone number. Oh, look at that guy's phone number. Yeah. I mean, that one's out there for everybody to see and then some. And I can't do that.
You have to give out the phone number, right? And if we go back to everyone's favorite post of mine, the the dating post that I posted many years ago, and it said, it was focused on BBM, right? And if you're dating someone, you're meeting somebody at the bar. If Brad goes out to the bar tonight and says, "I want to go meet somebody at the bar," he's more likely given his BBM pin, right? If BBM was very popular and all the people in the bar had BBM, right? He would give out that pin more than he would his phone number for them to contact him via WhatsApp or text messaging, right? Because now, if Brad takes some girl home or goes home and keeps talking with this girl at the bar that he met, and he wakes up the next morning and realizes she's not the girl of his future, right? If she has his phone number, she can call him as much as she wants, whether he blocks her or not, because she can just keep calling him from different phone numbers or whatnot. If he has her on Telegram or BBM, you can just delete them now, and they're gone. So, I don't know where it's going with that story, but I think I just wanted to promote that story again. It's still one of my favorite stories.
You need to update it for Telegram.
Yeah, now it's kind of it's a story that's lost because it was geared. People were still using BBM back then. A lot of people were using BBM back then, and it was easier to get people to switch over to BBM because you could just say it's free. It's in the Google Play Store and it's in the Apple App Store. You can download it. Now we can't tell them that because we have to tell them there's a fee to use it after a year. But
yeah, it's not going to fly too well.
Yeah,
I was surprised Viber was still alive. I thought that one went on the wayside a long time ago.
I'm surprised Kick is still alive.
Oh yeah, I know Kick was alive and well, but I've never used it.
That was BBOS days. Kick was around.
They got sued by BlackBerry. And we're getting totally off topic here, but I thought they got sued for.
They did because they had a bunch of BBM features in it that BlackBerry didn't like. But Kick was developed by former BBM users or former BBM developers.
But I mean, when it gets down to, consumer, enterprise, and Telegram, I have to say, like, Telegram I can use. It's pretty simple. Is it secure? I'm not sharing secret government files. My chats with my wife, chats with my friends, group chats, the channels. It's a good second place, and the channels are way better than what BlackBerry or MTech was doing with the channels in the first place.
Yeah, I look at it like, there's BBM Enterprise, which I'll use for, each app is going to have its own different usage case, right? Telegram is, place to promote the channels, right? BBM Enterprise is a great place to chat with people who still have BBM or BBM Enterprise, right? And then if people switch over to Telegram, great, I'll chat with you on there too, but it's probably not the first place I'm going to check every day.
Well, when consumer goes down, that Telegram's moving to the front page of my phone. Enterprise is already like 4 pages back, to be honest. I've muted a lot of those group chats because it's like constantly going off, and it's like, and some of it's okay, and some of it's I'm going to have to leave a few groups, to be honest. If I have you on Telegram, what do I need you on Enterprise for? And Enterprise might disappear off my phone. I just find it seems like it's a battery drain at this point.
Yeah. I mean, my Enterprise app is right there with the little dot right there. That's gone. That's where BBM Consumer used to be, and now that's where Enterprise is. That's, again, me and Aaron are two completely different people, two different completely usage cases. I am a fan of BBM Enterprise. I love BBM Enterprise. I think it's something that, a lot of things that I've been wishing BlackBerry would go back to, and yeah, I'm gonna miss all the consumer features and stuff like that, and all the feeds and all that stuff. But again, it goes back to my roots of it just being a messaging application that I can chat with people with, and that's all I needed to do. I don't need it to, tell me news stories. I don't need it to tell me or stuff like that. Was it stuff being there great? Yeah, absolutely. It was perfect. Fantastic to be there. Do I need it to do that? Be there? No. But would I love it for it to be there? Absolutely. Yeah, great.
The one thing I noticed in Enterprise, which I was kind of interesting not to see, was a couple of things: calendars and lists. I mean, we got those taken away out of the consumer, I think 2 years ago, and I thought that Enterprise had those, and I'm like, they don't even have that. And I'm like, how does Enterprise not have calendars at least?
It goes. It's kind of an example that I gave Gene in one of our chats, and the way I put it is like, say you go out and you buy yourself a car, right? This is a car you wanted for a while. You like this car. It's got all the features. You got your touchscreen infotainment center. You've got your AC front and back. You got your leather seats. You got all the options, even options that you don't want. You'll never use.
The cup holders.
They're there. Yeah. Heated and cold cup holders. You'll never use them, but they're there, right? And then there's a recall, and they recall your car, and they're like, you know what? Something's not safe about this car. We're gonna fix your seat belts up. You know, your seat belts are gonna be safer than they were before. And they bring you back the car, and you got nicer seat belts, but your cup holders are gone. Your touchscreen is gone. All those little options that you never really wanted, but you're used to using, are gone. How much are you going to want to drive that car? That's how I am with BBM Enterprise. You know, it's like I had everything I wanted, plus stuff that I didn't really want, but it was there. Sometimes it was cool to show off what it did. It was cool to write a blog about, you know. But now it's all gone. And I'm left with the same thing that I had in probably 2010. Just doesn't cut it for me.
Yeah, you were driving a 2019 car. Now you're back driving the junker back. And I'm not saying it's a junker. The clunker junker, or the used car that you were driving before you traded it in.
It works great. The seatbelts work great. It's great for getting me from point A to point B. Am I having fun? No, because I was having a lot more fun before. It
has a heater, and it has seatbelts, and the door opens and closes, and it's all Armstrong roll up to windows.
And depending what phone you use it with, it explodes too.
Wow, we could just go into that, you know. But
yeah, I mean, again, I've said it. Yeah, I mean, Enterprise it has taken away features that we all come to love, and I mean, it sucks that they're not there. It's devastating that they're not there. But again, if I have to choose Enterprise over having, if I have to choose having a BBM experience with Enterprise or no BBM experience at all, I'm going to choose Enterprise.
And I think what's going to get down to, it does split people down the middle. I mean, I know people that have been on Enterprise and now they're just coming to Telegram. But at one point, some of these people are never going to come to Telegram, and that's fine. I understand that. They're going to be staying on Enterprise, and I probably won't, to be honest with you. I have enough stuff going on. One messaging app is fine with me. I'm good. I don't need two. I only had one when in the first place. I had BBM. So why do I need two or three or four? I just want one. Yeah. That's it.
I just want one too. I mean, I have multiple ones, but I do just because, again, we all know I'm an appaholic, right? I have over 200 apps on my phone, and now I have more because I have more storage on my phone, which is great. Probably bad news for me, but I try things. I'm a tech. I like tech. I like geek stuff. I bash iPhones all the time. I have an iPhone sitting around in my house. Not the latest and greatest iPhone. I'm not giving Apple the latest and greatest money, but I have one just so I can, one, know the product, two, because I need to know the product for work, and three, I just like messing around with the OS and checking out different versions of apps and different features. And you can't knock a product if you don't try it, right? If you don't play around with it. That's always been my perception. Same thing with messaging apps. I have a Telegram account. I had a WhatsApp account, but I canceled it because I didn't like having. I didn't have anybody to talk to because I never gave up my phone number. I have, Viber, Kick, BBM. I have all the above pretty much, and that's because I just, I also have. There's one called Dust. I don't know if you guys have heard that one yet, but that's what's the guy's name from Shark Tank? Forget, one of the Shark Tank people created this application where it just deletes all your messaging or messages between people. It's called Dust. Check it out. It's a free app. There's no cost to it, anything like that. But it's pretty interesting concept. I'll send a link to you guys both.
Okay, it sounds like Snapchat to me for some reason.
I guess, but it's more secure than Snapchat is.
I don't even use Snapchat, so I don't.
No, again, I have a Snapchat account. Don't use it because I don't need to. I just have it there to have it, right? Part
Snapchat dust. You got me thinking about Thanos. That's
yeah. Don't spoil anything. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, I have everything. If there's something out there that comes out new, I'll probably be one of the first to try it or beta test it because I like trying out. But my heart is always going to be with BBM. It's always going to be inside BlackBerry. I don't know if we're going to get to this in this show, but a lot of people will say, "No, what happens when BlackBerry stops being BlackBerry devices?" I'll still be using whatever latest BlackBerry devices is out there, whatever Android device or whatever, BB10. If they still connect to the internet, if they still get me going or get me what I need, I'll use it. If not, then who knows what I'll do, but I'm going to stick to what I know and love, and I know what I trust, and what I trust BlackBerry, I trust Enterprise, I trust BBM. It all comes down, I don't mind where I chat to you with. If Aaron's going to talk to me on Telegram and Brad's going to talk to me on BBM Enterprise, great, I don't care. Or if Aaron's going to chat with me on Enterprise and Telegram, fantastic. Maybe it's more convenient for you to chat with me tomorrow on Enterprise, and then the next day you're going to chat with me on Telegram because maybe you're in front of a computer with a Telegram app open up or something like that.
Jumping between apps sucks.
Yeah,
Yes.
it does.
Yeah, it's no fun because all of a sudden you're chatting with somebody over here and then they're over there.
I just wish everyone to have BBM.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this has been the roughest time to watch this all just kind of crumble away. But that's how it is. This whole 2019 is a bed about just things changing, whether we like it or not. And
yeah, and there's still the kind of that one asterisk that we have to kind of keep an eye on that says it's only third day of May. Technically it's May 4th. Happy May 4th, everybody. But it's only the 4th day of May, and we have until the 31st to see what happens with consumer, and we don't know what BlackBerry is going to do with Enterprise. We don't know what's going to. Some knight in shining armor might come and stay consumer, and who knows? Whatever. Maybe BlackBerry buys Tumblr from AOL and turns Tumblr into BBM, or whatever.
Yeah, Tumblr will not be bought by BlackBerry right off the bat. That was Verizon, I think, on that one too. By the way,
well, doesn't Verizon owns AOL? Yeah. Sorry,
I don't know. Sorry. I didn't keep track of that, but after
it's all oath now.
After the December exodus, because Apple wouldn't put Tumblr on their Play Store or Apple's iTunes Store, they lost a lot of subscribers there too. So buying Tumblr would not be a great idea.
No, but if they did, that means they're thinking about messaging or whatever. But who knows what's going to happen with BBM, and keep telling BlackBerry on Twitter and Instagram, whatever, that you want BBM consumer to survive, and who knows, go sign that petition, and maybe John Chen's looking at it on his desk every day, or who knows, he reads it with his cup of coffee in the morning. Or
I think I heard there's like 150 signatures on that.
It was 207 right now. That's not voting too well.
No.
And that's like our BBM community, right? If you look at any group that's active right now in Enterprise, and you add those groups up, you're going to get those petition signers.
It doesn't add up to the million downloads on Google Play Store.
No, but I will say that Enterprise did see a very good spike in Google Play downloads since it's been switched over. It was at I forget what it was a very low number, and now it's up to like 1 million or so downloads.
Right, and people are going to try it out, and they're going to, we've been over this, but the long story short is people find it like, oh my gosh, we went back 12 years. I can't use this, or 10 years or whatever it is. I don't want to use this. I'm just going to follow. I'm going to go to Line. I'm going to go to text messaging of all things. I'm going to go to WhatsApp or whatever. And
or they go to Skype.
Skype. Yeah, no, I haven't heard a lot of people say Skype, to be honest with you.
No, Skype is kind of I mean, it's a very big thing in the
It's-
enterprise world, but not
Yes, Skype is like big in when you get the Microsoft Office suite. Skype is in there and it's hooked up to your Outlook, so everybody can see if you're on or not.
Yeah.
Whoopee.
Yeah. Or let's all go back to Hangouts. Oh wait, that's dying too. Sorry.
Yeah, that's dead too.
Let's go to Ella. Oh wait, that's dying too.
I need to get moving, but I wanted to have like a positive conversation. I wasn't really wanting to stomp on BBM's grave much.
Well,
but,
let's switch over to Telegram channels.
Well, that's just it. I wanted to talk about what we can do on Telegram, and kind of promote where everybody's going. So on our site, Aaron's written a little blog post about using bots. I'm halfway through a post about making stickers on your phone because anybody with Photoshop out there could do some really nice stickers. But if you want to just sit there and do it on your phone or your lunch break or work or something, I have a post going about how to do that. I don't know. We got Brad to actually get 2 new subscribers on Barry Reporter over at Telegram now. That's me and Aaron.
Yeah. Woohoo! It's a work in progress. Like I said, I'm not against switching over to Telegram. I'm not against putting a channel on Telegram. I have a channel on Telegram. Is it going to be active? That depends on how active I make it. Again, again, I go back to just being a site owner, and that's I have a way that I've always been doing my son. The way I look at it is the positive thing that it will, if it starts mixing into the current Telegram user base, it'll start pulling in the users to the site. So that's the way I look at it. It's going to promote like you said, it's just a bigger pool, right? It's a bigger ocean right now.
And and that's how I'm looking for my YouTube channel, because that's, I was using BBM for just making the channel stuff and then went to YouTube. That's what I'm going to use the Telegram channel for. I'll still write posts, but I want for the promotion of my YouTube channel.
And who knows, maybe, and if, me and Brad are BlackBerry sites or Brad's a geek site, but I'm a BlackBerry site, but he focuses a lot on BlackBerry. That's a good thing for BlackBerry too. If we start getting into the bigger pool of, Telegram and saying, here, we're going to promote all this BlackBerry stuff, right? Look, all these cool things that BlackBerry's been doing as of right now, as of lately, not really cool things, but, come check all this stuff. Maybe that gets Telegram people to start buying new BlackBerry devices. Maybe that starts getting Telegram users start going over to BBM Enterprise and then saying, hey, this might be actually kind of a decent little messaging client that I could use with people. And BlackBerry sees that, a spike in enterprise users, and says, maybe BBM can grow still. So there's a lot of possibilities that can happen with this. Again, a lot of that stuff is just wishful thinking, right? But if we all promote it properly, if we all work together as, promoting UTB stuff, or UTB promote my stuff, vice versa, and stuff like that, it can grow just because of that bigger user base of Telegram.
Instead of just preaching to the choir.
Yeah, or just preaching to the same 300 users on BBM.
Yeah.
Right, who already use BlackBerry.
Yeah.
I think this Telegram thing is going to be an interesting venture, and I think it's going to be positive for everybody.
Absolutely.
I mean, for me, I think it's going to be great. I keep looking at it going, yeah, let's get more eyeballs. And they're not from Indonesia. Okay, let's see who we got here.
and especially for someone who's a YouTube channel, right? YouTube is all based on subscriber and views and likes and all that. Those algorithms, even if you get a dislike, you still get an algorithm, right?
Right.
Telegram is going to get you people seeing your channel that have not seen your channel before, and that's going to be great for you. Same thing with UTB. It's going to bring in more content as long as it's promoted properly into the same. It's just, again, we have to figure out how to get people to discover it outside of the BlackBerry community.
And that's something we'll be working on. As soon as we figure it out, I'm sure UTB or I'll help try to do what I can to promote that, because that's something that's important to me. Because if I'm helping bringing people over, I want them to get as many eyeballs for their stuff as well.
Right. And so, we've done channel spotlights in the past on UTB for BBM channels. We could start doing that for Telegram channels. You know what I mean? again, we were a strong community, a tiny strong community, and let's not lose that going into the big pond.
Yeah, no, I don't want that.
No.
I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
think
we should.
yeah, I think we can keep the little the little tight community and help them grow as big as they want to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, folks, let's go ahead and call it.
Yep.
I got a morning tomorrow, and I still want to try and finish that post.
I have a red key 2 to go play with.
Oh, look at
nice.
you.
Very nice.
I'm still playing with a key 1 over here. What the hey?
And don't worry, I'm still playing with an LE too. So 2 phones, 2 hands.
Oh my gosh.
Right on.
We don't want to talk about other BlackBerry news.
I just don't have time, man.
No, too much news.
We can try it next time.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe next time it'll be on Barry Report again.
Yeah, we'll switch off enough. Cool.
There you go.
All right, guys. Talk to you next time.
See ya.
Later.